Welcome to
Boring.
But Effective.
Okay, thanks for joining us, everybody. We are blessed to have the fantastic Gary Ryan with us today. He is a multiple best-selling author with titles including Marketing Mastery, Mindset Mastery, Yes for Success, Disruption Leadership Matters, and What Really Matters for Young Professionals. He's an accredited 10X elite business coach. He's the host of Beyond Being Good podcast, and last but not least, father of five, Gary Ryan. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, David. Much appreciate the opportunity to speak with yourself and your audience.
No dramas. No, that's great. Now, organisations that matter. Tell us when you started it and how did it get going?
Well, we started it technically at the end of 2006, officially launched on in February of 2007. An amazing time. It was the golden era of business in Australia. I don't ever remember a single quote being argued with or just accepted. We didn't do any marketing. It was completely word of mouth, but we had a full book and it was just going on amazingly. And then in 2008, this thing called the GFC came along and changed all that rather rapidly. So had to really learn what business was about from about late 2008 through to 2010 when we sort of had to start adding in all of that marketing and learning how to sell stuff. And again, we actually had to reinvent ourselves at the start of the pandemic in 2020. We had to do it again. So that's what happens when you've been in business for nearly 20 years, as I have been now.
Yeah, that's terrific. And can you give us an indication? And like, how do you help people and how does that actually work?
Yeah, so there's really three areas that I help people in today. So one is the business coaching, where we fundamentally help people with their revenue and helping them scale their organization, which includes the leadership and culture parts, because you can't really do that without that. Then separately, some people engage us to work specifically on the leadership part and component of their organization. I'm running national programs as we speak. And then usually that will also include the culture, the high performance culture component as well. So it's rare for people to just do the culture part without either the leadership part as well, but sometimes we do all three. But usually folks are doing two of those three components that we're working on.
That's fantastic. Now, can you give us an example of an organisation where um, they have really benefited from your help, where whether it be a revenue thing, whether it be a culture thing, where you might have had people who were struggling to come to work and no one really liked each other, and then you came in and now it functions like a well-oiled machine, and people bound out of bed and are happy to get there.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't claim that this organization, which has 7,000 employees, probably has everybody that's bounding out of bed, but I think a fair number of them do, and that's Metro Trains Melbourne. And for 3 years, I ran their service leadership component from their mid-tier leaders through to their executive team, and that was with 256 leaders over that period of time. It wasn't just a sheep dip. I actually don't do that. So what I mean by a sheep dip is some people come along and they want the in inverted commas leadership workshop, and that's going to fix all their leadership. It just doesn't work. So I just don't do that, and I stopped doing that a long time ago. They have to be programs. So I do year-long or multi-year programs like we did with Metro Trains. That was over 3 years. Incredible feedback from them during an extremely complex period too. A lot of folk would be aware of the amount of infrastructure work for the train system that's gone on over the past 10 years in Melbourne, and that's created lots of challenges for the leaders. And also, they've really broadened from being a very male dominated industry to a much more multicultural, much more multi-gender based organisation. So that's been a privilege to be working with them throughout that period. And I still coach leaders there to this day in 2025. So I first started working with them in 2017. I've actually been working with Monash University every single year that I've been running my business across every single faculty. I've done some work with there over time and still have a program that I run with PhD students, which is just an extraordinarily awesome program to be part of. Lavazza, Australia, you know, if you love your coffee, I've done a lot of work with them. In fact, just got another call this morning to go back and do some help with them as well. And NovaFit, you might be familiar with them. We're currently running a national leadership program with them. They supply fantastic fitness equipment to gyms across Australia, also to the corporate entities, including into the mining sector, to make sure that those mining camps actually have that fitness element for the staff to come back from their shifts to also still stay fit with their mind and their body. So there's just a few examples there. Lion Legal Services, a great small business in regional New South Wales. They've gone through the $1 million barrier for the first time in revenue, which is just brilliant. Another client in steel fabrication, they've broken through the $5 million barrier for the first time in terms of their growth of their business. And so we've got lots of different sectors that we work in. We do probably, according to a lot of people, break the rules by not having a specific niche that I work with. Ultimately, the material that I help people learn and embed in their businesses, people are people, systems are systems, business models are business models. It's about applying that to your specific circumstances. So even if you're in the same industry, you've still got your own version of that you have to apply it to. And look, with the 10X coaching that we do on behalf of Grant Cardone, who's a client as well, and we get to coach his clients. We get to coach clients all over the world, David, which has just been extraordinary from my own skill set to get exposed to that, but also being able to prove that the model actually works in any economy, in any country, in fact, in any language.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's all about the energy and the attitude, and if you bring those, you can certainly learn the rest. And I'm lucky enough to be part of your crew on a Tuesday night. So yeah, I appreciate what we're doing. It's fantastic. So organizations that matter, guys, check them out. And yeah, thanks so much for that, Gary. Now we'll go on to the next bit of fun. Now, what's your favorite meal?
My favorite meal would be a roast chicken. Still, it would be a roast chicken with potatoes and veggies and some nice gravy, I would say. Like I do love my roast chicken, even though I'm extremely spoilt
Yeah.
by the person that would provide that to me, being Michelle, with the amazing spread of food that she gives us. So it's definitely a tough fight for the first position, but her roasts are awesome.
Well, there's 6 of you fighting for Michelle's food, so yeah, you learnt that early, didn't you?
Well, her Sri Lankan heritage, mate, there's always leftovers.
Oh,
So, there's no fighting required. It's like, you want more, you want more.
fantastic. Now, Sunday night, the roast chicken's on. There's plenty of potatoes and veggies and beautiful gravy. One person in the world, living or deceased, who would you have them round to the Ryan household to share a roast chicken with you?
I would have Nelson Mandela.
Ah, Nelson.
Yeah, I would have Nelson Mandela. Look, during my formative years, really in the 1990s, I read A Long Walk to Freedom, which is, I don't know, 750 pages, 4 times, cover to cover. And every single time I read it, there was more lessons in there. And you know, I teach about mental models and people's mindset and stuff like that. And just to see through that story how he evolved and he changed and he fundamentally changed his own mindset about how he saw the world and how he believed you could create freedom for his people. And a lot of people, you know, may or may not be aware that originally he was labeled as a terrorist. And
Yeah,
so to go from that
about
labeling,
27 years for that, I vaguely
yeah,
recall.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 27 years in prison, most of it spent at Robben Island there, and how he tells this story about how he befriended his jailer, like the person that was literally locking him up most days, was a friend. And he tells this story that after he'd been released from jail and after apartheid had come down, they were actually him and his crew were, this is just before he became the president, but they were eating at a restaurant, and some of the senior jailers were in the restaurant, and people are like, behaving aggressive towards them, and he says, "Stop, stop, stop! Like, don't do that! Like, we cannot
Mm.
we cannot continue apartheid and just switch it around.
Mm.
Like, we're against apartheid, so we have to behave that way. These people are welcome here." Like, I remember just constantly going, I'll never, ever, ever comprehend what it was like to be jailed for 27 years in those conditions as well. And to come out the other side and have that level of care for the people that were literally locking the door. Like that's extraordinary leadership. And the whole and how that flew in rolled into the World Rugby Cup in 1995 with South Africa hosting it, now South Africa being ranked fifth and then actually winning the Rugby World Cup. Just brilliant stories. And he had a significant role in actually helping, possibly for the first time ever, and maybe not even since, having the whole of South Africa really get behind that team, even though it was technically the white person sport. And for the first time ever, actually being one country, at least for a moment in time, when they won that World Cup. Amazing story. So that's why I'd have love to have Nelson sitting there.
Oh, it's a fantastic story. I mean, could you imagine if you go back to 1998 and you just had to put your life on hold for 27 years and you came out now? Gee, she'd be unrecognizable, eh?
Well, you're not wrong. Gosh, no, the internet was around, but not like it is now. There was no such thing as apps. I mean, I think the BlueBerry. I don't even know that the BlueBerry existed. We had the Nokias, and you could text maybe, but yeah,
I reckon,
different world.
yeah,
That's
I reckon it was the old car phone, or you had people walking around with a briefcase that had a phone in it.
that's
They'd
right.
be, they'd be like, now what's this smartphone business? Yeah.
Yes, what's this, mate? Your younger audience have got no clue what we're talking about.
No, that's right. Uh, all right, Gaz. Hey, thanks so much for coming on. I'd love to catch up with you again down the track. I'd love to do another one of these in the new year. So hopefully we can organise that. And yeah, thanks for letting us know about organisations that matter.
No worries, folks. Go and reach out to orgsthatmatter.com or look up Gary Ryan Official on all the social media. You'll find me. Let's go.
Go on you, Gaz. Thanks, mate.
But effective.